Good afternoon. The National Weather Service has confirmed EF3 tornadoes did touch down in our communities. And due to the tremendous devastation brought on by this storm, we, the County Commissioners, have issued an emergency declaration for Montgomery County, Ohio, effective immediately. In the initial stages of the emergency response, we were primarily focused on life-saving measures. We coordinated our response with help from Ohio Task Force 1 and several regional strike teams, local fire, police, and emergency professionals. We coordinated with our gas utility veteran to shut off gas lines to damaged structures, preventing potential accidents and injury. Our county engineer dedicated his trucks and his team members to help us clear debris, giving first responders access to devastated neighborhoods. And I'm going to repeat that, devastated neighborhoods. In fact, don't drive up north if you don't have to, because Commissioner Dodge and I both live up north, and it is devastation. We worked with the Red Cross to set up local shelters and share that information with the community. We collaborated with our local hospitals through the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association, sending resources to these vital community assets during the crisis. Water tankers have been placed throughout the county to provide a resource for fire professionals and departments as needed. At this time, we know that many of our citizens have lost their water service, their pressure, and the service in the northern parts of our system. It does appear that the other areas of our county system are holding steady. In addition, life-saving and rescue responses are beginning to wind down. We have been very fortunate for our county that we have had a very low number of injuries and no fatalities. And when you look at the ferocity of this storm and the damage that it caused, that's truly a miracle. We are now transitioning our response to recovery-focused services, such as increasing and improving shelter services and providing food and water resources for the impacted citizens. Commissioner Dodge will now discuss these efforts further.
As Commissioner Lieberman said, we are now focusing on providing coordinated support to first responders, as well as working with our partners to set up bottled water and food distribution sites. We have made formal requests to our State Emergency Management Authority for up to 1 million gallons of bottled or potable water to distribute to our citizens, as well as additional resources. We have also made requests to other utilities to provide water tankers for additional distribution options so that we can provide clean water to our citizens. As of now, approximately 150 people are estimated to be in shelters at this time. Now, Red Cross has opened shelters, and they are also working with partner shelters. And here's a few of the shelters. Morton Middle School, which is located at 8555 Peters Pike in Vandalia. The Ridge Church, 7555 Brookville, Phillipsburg Road. Corinthian Church, 700 North James McGee Boulevard in Dayton. First Baptist Church, 3939 Swigert Road in Kettering. That's a partner shelter, as well as Restoration Church at 904 Vernon Drive in Dayton, and that's a partner shelter. We are also coordinating with our food bank to distribute bottled water at these locations. Again, Morton Middle School at 8555 Peters Pike in Vandalia, the Ridge Church, 7555 Brookville, Phillipsburg Road, Corinthian Church, 700 North James McGee Boulevard in Dayton, our Montgomery County Environmental Services, 1850 Spalding Road in Kettering, Washington Township Recreation Center, 895 Miamisburg Centerville Road, and Montgomery County Fairgrounds at 645 Infirmary Road in Jefferson Township. Now, please be advised that Corinthian Church at 700 North James McGee Boulevard in Dayton is now at 100% capacity for shelter services, but people can still go there to pick up any water needs. I will now turn this over to Commissioner Rice. Our citizens can help or pitch in during this recovery effort.
Let me begin by saying we would like to thank our first responders and the emergency management team who sprang into action immediately to help our community through this natural disaster. And we are heartbroken to see the destruction that these storms have wrought on our local communities. As has been mentioned before, we are coordinating food and water distribution with our local food bank. So there are two ways that community members can help right now, and that's a question we get a lot: how can I help? So the first way is that the food bank is accepting bottled water through this Thursday, May 30th, between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. at their warehouse, and that is located at 56 Armour Place in Dayton. Secondly, if you are looking to volunteer, please stay out of the areas affected because of the safety concerns. But you can volunteer to sort food donations at the food bank. If you would like to volunteer, call 461-0265 for additional information. We also want you to know that our solid waste district is also accepting yard waste debris free of charge for county residents. Contractors hauling yard waste may drop off debris for $36 a ton. Please make sure that all yard waste is free of other trash and debris. The waste can be dropped off at the Solid Waste District, which is located at 1001 Encrete Lane, that's E-N-C-R-E-T-E, Encrete Lane in Moraine, Ohio, during normal business hours, which are 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. If you still need emergency assistance, please call 911 or your local fire or police departments. However, if you have general questions about the disaster response, please call our information hotline at 937-225-6217. Please note that we are unable to confirm the status of loved ones at this number. Please call the American Red Cross at 222-6711 if you're looking for help locating loved ones. Thank you for your time. We are committed to seeing this through and supporting our community through what promises to be a very long recovery. Thank you.
I'm just going to add, please, anyone that's watching this, please check on your neighbors, knock on their door if you haven't seen them for a while. That's so important.
Thank you.
So this is the second time in just a few months that both the county and city are without water for one reason or another. What is the exact problem in this situation?
Well, I'm going to turn this over to Michael because we've heard several different things, but the emergency generators apparently didn't work. I mean, simple as that. So, Michael, do you know any more?
Thank you, Commissioner. So from everything we know right now, the pumping stations lost power when everybody else lost power, and the backup power that was supposed to support the pumping stations, whether at the plant or whether at the stations, for whatever reason, did not kick in. And what that did is caused essentially a depressurization of the system. In the north especially, we seem to be containing right now in the south. But what that really forced us to do then is to move to remediation mode. And with the Commissioner's support, we were able to open our emergency management system, and we instantly start the process of deploying potable drinking water throughout the county.
So is there any way to prevent this from happening?
I think we will look at that, Chris, as we're going in the future. We will be having evaluation of the entire system of how can we make our remediation efforts as a system better. But I think right now we've got to get through this process. You know, we've got to get through this event, and we've got to focus on helping people right now. But we've got a lot of people without drinking water. We've got a lot of people that are trying to salvage their homes and to remove debris, and we've got to focus on trying to help people before we can look at that.
Just so we're clear, these backup systems, were these all City of Dayton backup systems, or were these pumping stations in the county system as well, or
These are the City of Dayton backup systems. The Montgomery County purchases their water from the City of Dayton for redistributing through the system. So anytime we have systems like this, we depend solely on the City of Dayton for the support.
are you satisfied with the city's response and what they're doing now to try to fix this problem? Or?
I think we're all working very hard, along with DP&L, along with Veteran, the City of Dayton, our emergency responders, as the commission has talked about. But we recognize that we've got some work to do in the future. And so what we'll do is right now we'll focus on helping people and getting services back to people, working with our county engineer, working with our first responders, working with our departments within the county. And then once we get past this event, we'll have time to go back and figure out where we need to make some changes.
Now, we talked earlier today, has the city given you any further information on how they're working to fix the problem and when it might be fixed?
Well, the goal is to get power both to the pumping stations and to the plants themselves. So we're really working now hand in hand both with the city and with DPL, and as we get updates, we'll make sure that we update the public.
Even once you get the all clear, or even when they come back online, it could still.
That's correct, Chris. I mean, whenever we have a depressurization of the system, we have to work with Ohio EPA. It kicks us into an immediate boil advisory. The boil advisory can last anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, depending on how much pressure we've lost. We've got to refill all of the tanks, our storage tanks. So it takes some time to bring the system back online.
Anything like this happened in the past that you know of? Or?
Not outside of the water main break before, but outside of these two events, I don't remember anything in my career, Commissioners, unless you do.
I don't recall anything like this. Yeah.
Folks not driving up to the northern counties or northern area of the county recommendations, how long could it take to get these roads cleared?
Oh, who knows? I mean, I was shocked. You know, I'd watched throughout the night and seen, you know, when the sun came up, you could see some of the pictures. But driving through it was just unbelievable. I mean, the devastation. Some streets, you know, look like they've been bombed. I mean, it was a very powerful tornado, and because it was slow moving in a way, because it was on the ground for so long, and it just really took down so many homes. I mean, we don't know yet how many homes. You know, we'll be working and trying to get that count over the next few days, but it's going to take a while working with partners throughout the county and the region too. You know, this also affected Greene County tremendously, and so anything we can do to help them as well, we're here for them.
And Salina.
And Salina, Salina, of course, but
and everyone in between.
Yeah.
And you mentioned one of the shelters is filled to capacity. How full are the other shelters?
We have not been advised that they're full. I think the only one so far is Corinthian.
Corinthian Baptist, yeah.
I believe we have plenty of capacity at this time for the needs of the community.
Okay, thank you.
And do you happen to have any numbers on how many injuries or the extent of those injuries? I know you said the number was low.
The last number I heard was 50.
50 injuries.
Injuries, yeah. And, you know, we're also hearing that perhaps everyone hasn't been accounted for, you know, and especially in Brookville, there's some areas that are really hard to get to. And so we're just hopeful that everybody's okay.
That's why I said check on your neighbors. And the other thing, you're talking about driving north. I live north, and I was trying to come south to come to work. I mean, I kept getting turned, rerouted, and the next thing I know, I'm even further north than I live to try to come here. But when I finally started getting sort of close, I noticed that people, they just go right on the roads, whether there's a tree over or not. They were going over lines.
Over lines.
Please, please, pay attention.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that sort of thing. So please, everybody, please be careful. There's some hot lines down, you know, wires are just awful, so.
And I know we had a lot of people earlier in the morning wanting to help. And, you know, can I take my chainsaw up there and help out? And, you know, I would say coordinate it with one of the jurisdictions, whether it's Trotwood or Harrison Township, you know, go through them. because they could probably use help, but, you know, we don't want anybody getting hurt.
Are extreme weather events a growing concern for the county commission? I mean, are you factoring that into any kind of planning?
We haven't,
Go
but
ahead.
we may in the future.
It is something that concerns us. I mean, you know, as citizens of the United States, you know, it's very, of the world, it's very concerning. We have not, but we've noticed it just like everybody else has. You know, there's definitely some concerns, a lot of flooding that we didn't used to have this much flooding. So it's one of those things as we, you know, look at the next year, it's something we may have to take into consideration.
One of the areas around that is we manage the regional emergency management. And to the commissioner's point, we always have to take in consideration those things that can happen throughout the year that we're not prepared for. And that's why we always set back a little bit of emergency funding that we don't appropriate in the event that we need it. And we were able to fall back on that today, this morning actually, Chris.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.